How do you stay focused? You know that feeling when you're doing something that's really important and before long something urgent comes up and you become distracted. How often does that happen to you? You know, one of the most common questions that I get is how do I stay focused when I have so much to do? I have my family, I have my work, I have my social commitments, my community commitments, and after all that, how do I get that spiritual connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or how do I focus on my salah? You know, often we find ourselves in the salah thinking about our businesses, our families, our cars, whatever it is. The great ideas come up in salah. You know that feeling? So you become distracted at the most important time. Inshallah, today we're going to cover two big ideas that will inshallah help you to take control of your focus. Now, failing to take a control of your focus could mean a complete loss of your life. Now you're thinking, that's pretty dramatic, huh? But isn't your life your time? So when you give up your time, aren't you giving up a portion of your life? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Wal asr, innal insana lafi khusr. By time, indeed, humanity is at a loss. Now why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swear by time? Because time is your life, and if you cannot control or gain a focus of your time, then you lose your life, because time is the most precious commodity that you have. It's your most valued possession. So let's deal with the number one priority. Number one priority, the prayer. How do you keep your focus in the prayer and not become distracted? And to do this, you need to get a perspective. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Hadid, وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَتَاعُ الْغُرُورِ. And this life is nothing but a deceptive pleasure. Now, I'm not saying that everything in your life is a deceptive pleasure, but the reality is that we are busy in all those things that give us pleasure. Like we take pleasure in our work, or we take pleasure in our businesses, we take pleasure in our families, we take pleasure in the possessions that we hold. Now, you need to understand that everything has a fixed timeline. So once you have context, you know the importance of the salah and where it fits into your life, because it is the second pillar of the religion and it is your direct connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I'll give you one tip. There are many that we can talk about, but in this segment I'll give you one tip that inshallah ta'ala will help you to gain more of a focus in your salah. Now, the number one thing that you do is that you plan for the salah. You block out times within your day when you know you're going to be doing the salah, and you prepare for it as though it's an important meeting. What are you going to ask for in your salah? What is the dua that you're going to make? Like, you plan for it, you think about it ahead of time. If you don't look at it as something important, you won't give it the importance and the focus that it requires. So back to our question, how do you gain a focus in the rest of your life, in all the other things? When you focus on one thing instead of another, what happens? You end up spending your time, spending your life on that thing. So when all the demands come in, whether it's your deadlines, your work, your family, your friends, like what happens? Like when you say yes, when you find it difficult to say no, you end up spreading your time over a whole number of things, and your focus is ultimately spread thin over all these things. So you haven't really got your attention on one thing. The solution for this is simple. The solution is one that I've been using myself for a number of years, and this is something that forces you to focus on the right things, forces you to focus on the things that are the most important, forces you to focus on the things that will get you your results. You ask yourself one critical question: what is my number one action I can take today that by doing this I will get the most done, or I will get the closest to my goal? Now this question can help you decide on the most important thing. Sometimes when we have so many things to do and we're so overwhelmed, we can't really see which of those are the most important, and we try and do all of them. We try and fit them in. You know those to-do lists that you have, and you're ticking them off through the day, and there's no problem with that. Like, we need to have a to-do list, but the thing is to know the number one priority. Like, this is the question that you should ask yourself first thing in the morning. This is the question that you should ask yourself at the beginning of the week, at the beginning of the month, at the beginning of the year. Then you will take that action first, and that becomes the prime goal and is prioritized over everything else. Like, one of the biggest distractions that you and I are constantly facing is ourselves. We're constantly there on the internet, we're constantly surfing, and that surfing is a big distraction. So this comes to my next point. Multitasking is a big no-no. Multitasking, and I'll repeat this because it's such a killer of productivity. I say to myself, I've got 5 things to do, and I'm going to do all of them. I stretch them out one hour after the other, 1 hour after the other. And every time I switch from one task to the next, it takes your mind time to reorient itself onto the new task at hand and to focus in on that. And by the time you gain absolute concentration and focus on this second thing, then you're ready to go on to the next. So you never actually gain like real focus. So my challenge to you this week, ask yourself, what is my one most important action that I can do today, that if I do this, it will take me the closest to my goal, the closest to the thing that I want. So thank you for watching. Please click on that subscribe button right now, because I'll be releasing new videos on a regular basis with some amazing ideas, things that have changed my life and inshallah ta'ala will change yours. And be sure to leave your comments. I'd love to know how these ideas are affecting your life. And of course, not forgetting, tag your friends, share the ideas, share the videos, and share in the reward. Jazakumullah khair. This is your brother ABDUL SHAHID. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.